have of when Kath and I were dating, of one of her brothers who often quoted a line from the movie Pollyanna. Now, Pollyanna was one of those movies that Catherine and her siblings grew up watching, and they had quite a love of the movie, which is about an orphan who really has a positive sort of cheerful personality and perspective on life. Now, I don't know if the line that Catherine's brother quoted is significant to the plot of the movie, or if it's simply a line that kind of personally speaks to him. But the line that he continually said was, "Death comes unexpectedly." Now, Monday we thought about the concept of the quiet life, and the idea that a quiet life is one where we love each other and our neighbours in such a way that unbelievers are won over to faith. Well, today we'll consider why faith in Jesus not only helps us to care for our neighbour, but also gives us confidence in life after death. Now, Paul writes, 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13, "Brothers and sisters, we do not want you to be uninformed about those who sleep in death, so that you do not grieve like the rest of mankind who have no hope." Now, if you've been touched by death in your family or the death of a friend, then you will know the grief that comes from the numbness of death, the emptiness of death, and to some extent the concern you feel or felt if you are unsure of their belief in Jesus. Now, in my experience of officiating funerals, I've seen that there is a much greater level of grief when families mourn their loved ones who they know didn't believe in Jesus. I mean, they still hold the hope that the person was a good person, and so that will be enough to keep them out of hell. But because they don't have faith in Jesus, or because they know that the deceased didn't have faith in Jesus, there is an uncertainty that magnifies their grief. Because I think there is a realization that they may never see them again, and there is still so much left to say and to do. If, however, you have been at a funeral of a person that you know had a firm faith in Jesus, then that is an entirely different experience. And there's still grief, because it is incredibly sad to lose someone who in this lifetime you will never see again. But your grief is measured because you know that you will see them again in eternity. See, Paul writes, 1 Thessalonians 4 verse 13, "We do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, concerning those who are asleep, so that you will not grieve like the rest who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, in the same way, through Jesus, God will bring with him, those who have fallen asleep." Now, there are sometimes moments that happen that change your whole perspective on life. I imagine that this was the case for those who experienced World War I, World War II, the moon landing and the JFK assassination. In my lifetime, 9/11 and COVID have been moments that have forced me to reevaluate aspects of life that previously I really hadn't considered. And yet there is one moment that has shaped my life and the lives of millions of other people, and that moment is the resurrection of Jesus. Jesus' death on the cross is a quintessential moment for all humanity, because Jesus' sacrifice for sin enables believers to have their sins forgiven. However, without the resurrection, there is no promise of eternal life. Jesus' resurrection proves that life after death is possible. And Jesus promises that he will raise to life all those who trust in him. Okay, Jesus is why we do not grieve as men and women and children who have no hope. Jesus is why we believe that we will have life after death. And so, friends, with that in mind, spend a couple of minutes in prayer, simply thanking God for the death and resurrection of Jesus. And then pray that God will open the eyes of people you know who don't know Jesus, so that they too will share in this wonderful promise of life after death.